In a quiet little town, there lived a cat named Professor Whiskerstein. He wasn't just any ordinary cat. He was a genius inventor with a curious mind and a laboratory filled with gadgets and gizmos of all kinds. His most prized invention, however, was a shiny, ticking contraption that stood in the middle of his lab, the time machine. One day, while tinkering with the dials and levers, Professor Whiskerstein accidentally pushed the big red button marked Go. With a whirl and a whoosh, the machine sprang to life, spinning faster and faster until everything around him became a blur. When the spinning stopped, Professor Whiskerstein found himself in a strange, prehistoric land. He looked around in awe. Towering trees, enormous ferns, and in the distance, a family of dinosaurs. A curious little triceratops waddled over to him and nudged his paw. The professor quickly realized he was in the age of dinosaurs. Fascinated, he observed how the dinosaurs lived, taking careful notes in his journal. But before he could explore further, the time machine beeped and whirred, signaling it was time to go. With a flash, he was transported to ancient Rome, where he landed in the middle of the Colosseum. The Romans, amazed by the talking cat in strange clothes, thought he was a messenger from the gods. Professor Whiskerstein used his quick wit to charm the crowd and even helped the emperor solve a puzzle that had stumped the greatest minds in Rome. Next, the time machine whisked him away to a medieval castle. The castle was under siege by a fearsome dragon. Using his knowledge of physics, Professor Whiskerstein built a clever contraption that captured the dragon's fiery breath and turned it into harmless steam. He saved the castle and earned the title Sir Whiskerstein, the Brave. Finally, with one last jolt, the time machine transported the professor to the future. He found himself in a shiny city filled with flying cars and robots. The robots were in trouble. Their circuits were overheating, causing chaos. Professor Whiskerstein, with his knack for problem-solving, quickly realized they needed a cooling system and invented one using parts from his time machine. With his mission accomplished, the time machine beeped one final time, and Professor Whiskerstein was safely returned to his lab. He looked around, amazed at the adventures he had just experienced. Although he had seen so many incredible things, the professor realized that there was still so much more to learn. And so, with a satisfied purr, Professor Whiskerstein settled down with his journal, ready to plan his next great adventure. Because for a cat like him, the possibilities were endless.